The alarm screamed through Epsilon 7's corridors with the kind of urgency reserved for extinction-level events. Red emergency lights bathed the station's sterile white halls in crimson waves as blast doors slammed shut with thunderous finality. In the central command hub, Commander Zyxthar's four eyes widened in pure terror as his claws frantically danced across the holographic interface. Containment breach in Xenobiology Lab 4. His communications officer shrieked, her voice cracking through the translator implant. It's a Vexron." The word alone sent a shockwave of panic through the bridge crew. A Vexron, the apex predator of the Kepler 442 system, a creature so lethal that entire civilizations had been wiped out by a single specimen. Its neurotoxic spines could paralyze a Thoraxian battle cruiser crew in seconds. Its adaptive camouflage made it virtually invisible. Its hunting intelligence rivaled that of the galaxy's most brilliant strategic minds. And now one was loose on their station. "Evacuate all personnel to the core sections," Zyxthar commanded, his dual hearts hammering against his chitinous chest. "Seal off the outer ring. Deploy combat drones immediately." Through the security feeds, they watched the nightmare unfold. The Vexron moved through Lab 4 like liquid shadow, 12 feet of sleek, midnight black muscle and rage. Its 6 eyes glowed with bioluminescent fury, and the razor-sharp spines along its serpentine back rattled with each movement, releasing faint wisps of deadly neurotoxin into the air. Research equipment shattered. Containment pods exploded. The creature was hunting, testing the environment, learning. "Where are the humans?" Zyxthar demanded suddenly. The station housed a small contingent of humans, those strange, soft-bodied mammals from the Sol system, who had joined the Galactic Coalition only 3 cycles ago. They were assigned to various departments across Epsilon 7, their peculiar adaptability making them surprisingly useful despite their fragile appearance. "2 are in the core section, sir," the communications officer reported, her tentacles trembling. But there's one still in the outer ring, Lab 3 adjacent to the breach point." "Who?" "The human female, Bella Chen, and," the officer's voice dropped to a horrified whisper, "she's not alone. Her partner, Leo Martinez, went to find her." Zyxthar felt his blood turn to ice. "Get them out of there, now." But it was too late. The security feed from Lab 3 flickered to life, and what the crew saw defied every instinct, every survival mechanism hardwired into their species over millions of years of evolution. Bella stood in the center of Lab 3, surrounded by overturned equipment and shattered glass. She was small by most galactic standards, barely 5.5 feet tall, with dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. Her brown eyes were calm, almost meditative, as she watched the Vexron slide through the breach in the wall. The creature filled the doorway, its massive form coiled and ready to strike. Those 6 eyes locked onto her, analyzing, calculating. The spines along its back vibrated, releasing a thin mist of toxin that would have killed any other species instantly. But Bella just smiled softly. "Hey there, beautiful," she said in that strange, melodic human language. Her translator rendered it into galactic standard, but something in her tone, something primal and untranslatable, carried through. The Vexron hissed, a sound like steam escaping from a ruptured hull. It moved closer, its body flowing across the floor with impossible grace. On the bridge, Zyxthar watched in horror. "She's dead. She's already dead. Why isn't she running?" Bella crouched down slowly, making herself smaller, less threatening. She extended one hand, that peculiar 5-digited appendage that seemed so weak compared to claws or talons. "I know you're scared," she murmured. "New place, loud noises, strange smells. It's okay. I've got you." The Vexron's spines rattled again, but something changed. The vibration slowed. The creature's head tilted, those 6 eyes focusing with laser intensity on the small human before it. That's when Leo burst through the secondary entrance, slightly out of breath. He was taller than Bella, with close-cropped hair and the kind of calm confidence that came from years working in dangerous environments. "Bella, what the?" He stopped mid-sentence, taking in the scene. "Leo, don't make any sudden moves," Bella said without looking away from the Vexron. "She's just confused and scared." Leo's eyebrows shot up. "Bella, that's a Vexron. That thing has killed thousands." "She's pregnant," Bella interrupted. Silence. On the bridge, Zyxthar's translator must have malfunctioned. "Pregnant? How could the human possibly?" "Look at the spine coloration," Bella continued, her voice steady and educational as if she were teaching a basic biology class. "See how the bioluminescence has that greenish tint instead of pure blue, and the way she's moving, protecting her lower abdomen. Classic defensive behavior in gravid Kepler 442 predators." Leo edged closer, his movements careful and deliberate. He'd learned long ago to trust Bella's instincts when it came to animals. Back on Earth, she'd rehabilitated everything from traumatized dogs to displaced bears. Apparently, her skills translated across species barriers. "So what do?" he asked quietly. "We help her feel safe," Bella replied. She slowly sat down cross-legged on the floor, making herself as non-threatening as possible. "Come on, sweetheart. Nobody here wants to hurt you or your baby." The Vexron moved closer. Its massive head was now less than 3 feet from Bella's face. One strike, one release of concentrated toxin, and she'd be dead before her body hit the floor. Instead, Bella did something that made every alien watching collectively gasp. She reached out and gently touched the Vexron's snout. The creature froze, every muscle in its powerful body tensed. On the bridge, several crew members fainted. Then, impossibly, the Vexron's eyes dimmed from angry bioluminescent fury to a soft, curious glow. The spines along its back slowly lowered, retracting into dormant positions. And the creature, the apex predator that had terrorized entire star systems, leaned into Bella's touch. "That's it," Bella whispered, her hand moving in slow, gentle strokes along the Vexron's scaled head. "You're okay. We're going to help you." Leo let out a breath he didn't know he'd been holding. "I'll never understand how you do that." "It's not magic," Bella said, a small smile playing on her lips as the Vexron's massive body began to relax. "Every species has universal needs. Safety, comfort, understanding. Doesn't matter if you're from Earth or Kepler 442. The Vexron settled onto the floor, its body uncurling from its defensive posture. It made a sound, low and rumbling, almost like a purr, that had never been documented in any xenobiological database. Leo carefully approached from the side, moving into the creature's line of sight before getting too close. "Okay, so what's the plan here? We can't exactly keep a pregnant Vexron on the station." "No," Bella agreed, still stroking the creature's head. "But we can make sure she's safely transported back to a suitable habitat, somewhere with the right atmospheric conditions, food sources, and space for her to nest." On the bridge, Zyxthar finally found his voice. "Someone explain to me what I'm seeing." The science officer, a Dracovian with 3 degrees in xenobiology, stared at the screen with something between awe and disbelief. "Sir, I have no scientific explanation. The Vexron should have attacked immediately. The neurotoxin alone should have incapacitated the human female within seconds. And yet she's petting it," Zyxthar finished, his voice hollow. "Humans," the science officer whispered, "are unlike any species we've encountered. Their empathy, their ability to bond with other species, it defies our understanding of evolutionary psychology. They domesticated apex predators on their own world. They form attachments with creatures that should be their natural enemies, and somehow, impossibly, those creatures respond." On the screen, Leo had joined Bella, sitting beside her as the Vexron's massive head rested partially in Bella's lap. The human male was now also gently stroking the creature, speaking to it in low, soothing tones. We'll need to contact the Kepler 442 Wildlife Preservation Society, Bella was saying. They'll know the best relocation sites, and we should do a full health scan, make sure she and the baby are okay after all this stress. The Vexron made that purring sound again, its eyes half closed in what could only be described as contentment. Zyxthar slowly lifted the lockdown. "Stand down combat protocols," he ordered, his voice filled with wonder. "And someone get me the human ambassador. I think we need to revise our understanding of these extraordinary beings." As the emergency lights faded and normal operations resumed, the crew of Epsilon 7 gathered around viewscreens throughout the station, watching the impossible scene in Lab 3. They watched as Bella and Leo sat with the galaxy's most feared predator, offering it comfort and kindness instead of fear and violence. And they began to understand why, despite their physical fragility and short lifespans, humans might just be the most remarkable species in the galaxy. Because while others saw monsters, humans saw souls. While others saw danger, humans saw need. And in that moment, as Bella gently scratched behind the Vexron's auditory ridges, and the creature leaned into her touch with complete trust, one truth became crystalline clear. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their adaptability or their stubborn resilience. It was their inexplicable, boundless capacity to love the unlovable, to reach out to the unreachable, and to find common ground with beings that should have been impossible to understand. The station had gone into emergency lockdown over a Vexron. But two humans had ended the crisis with nothing more than patience, empathy, and gentle hands. And the galaxy would never be quite the same.